that compels more people to vote.
As you mentioned, these U.S. elections is overshadowed by the war in Gaza, the genocide taking place in the country, and also by the increasing attacks on Lebanon, all perpetrated by Israel. So is the Middle East crisis a point that could decide the voting intentions in states such as Michigan, as you mentioned, that has the largest majority of Arab Americans community?
The genocide in Palestine is definitely one of the biggest issues, especially in Michigan. And even the fact, Alejandra, that we can say genocide in a TV studio, because you're never going to hear that from CNN, MSNBC, Fox. And it's important to call out those networks, and that's why they censor us on YouTube and across social media. All of those networks, whether they're coming from the liberals or the conservatives, are fully complicit in this Holocaust of human life. When they said never again, they were lying to us. It's certainly, they weren't thinking of the Palestinian people. They weren't thinking of the people in Sudan or the Congo or the blockaded peoples of Nicaragua or Cuba when they said never again. So this issue of the genocide looms large. We've seen this whole campaign that came out of Michigan of uncommitted voters saying that they absolutely refused to vote for the Democrats. Many Palestinian organizations and their leadership have the slogan, anybody but Kamala, anybody but the genocidal Democrats. And I think a lot of people, even though they see Trump's views in politics as odious, they can appreciate that Trump represents a monkey wrench to the entire system. And certainly the truly ruling class candidate is Kamala Harris. If you look at the FBI and the CIA, who are supposedly apolitical, but now they publish letters in the New York Times, at least they did in 2016, it's clear that they see Trump as an existential threat. They don't see Trump as presidential. So I think the genocide, I think Kamala represents the continuity, the uninterrupted continuity of the genocide. If Trump wins, he's such a loose cannon that we can't talk about continuity. And certainly the fact that Trump is threatening the U.S., NATO, Western European war on Russia, with how many Ukrainians trapped in the middle of this proxy war, Trump represents a legitimate threat to the ruling class. It's not from the left wing, as we would like. It's really from the extreme right wing. In fact, Trump has been subjected to 2 assassination attempts just in the past few months. And the latest assassination attempt, roughly 6 weeks ago, came from an individual obsessed with what he considered a liberation war in Ukraine and wanted to assassinate the former President Trump because he saw him as a threat to this ongoing war. They've invested hundreds of billions of dollars of our taxpayer money, the people and workers of Germany, England, France. This is a broadly unpopular war, but they continue full speed ahead, even though the surveys across the United States are in the 70th percentile of Americans who want this war with Russia to end.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny, very much for your time here from the South.